Hello everybody, how's everybody doing today? Everyone is doing good. I just wanted to touch base on a little thing that the sleepers out there, I will hope soon realize. How many more times do people have to put out that there is no recovery, it doesn't exist, it's false? How many people still believe that Obama is creating jobs? Sure, he might be creating jobs, but these jobs aren't for us. They're for overseas. Where are these jobs being created? And the reason why I ask this is I'm going to read you a blog from the economiccollapse.com, and the link will be below, and you can read it yourself. It's a very informative site to keep up to date with current economic issues and the collapse of the dollar and and basically the economic part of the crisis that we face. So, and well, anyway, I'm going to read this to you. Called, "You Call This an Economic Recovery? 44 million Americans on food stamps, and 10 other reasons why the economy is simply not getting better." I totally agree. When Barack Obama, the Federal Reserve, and the mainstream media tell us that we are in the middle of an economic recovery, is that supposed to be some kind of a sick joke? According to newly released numbers, over 44 million Americans, get that, 44 million Americans are now on food stamps. Does that sound like a recovery to you? Doesn't sound like one to me. That is a new all-time record, and that number is 13.1% higher than it was just 1 year ago. Now, if there was an economic recovery, and if our country was getting better economically, we wouldn't see these many people on food stamps. And to those that are on food stamps, hear me out. Pretty soon, those aren't going to work for you. So if you guys are on food stamps, and God bless you, I really hope you will. But I really hope you take those food stamps and use them if you can't find and if you're having trouble job wise, use it to stock up on food. Okay, use it to store up on food, along with the daily what's the word? Along with the daily providing for your family. Stock up on food, because it's going to get bad. I don't know how many times people have got to say this. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, but I'm going to keep on saying it. That's a new all-time record, and that number is 13.1% higher than it was just 1 year ago. So how many Americans have to go on food stamps before we can actually agree that the U.S. economy is dying? 50 million? 60 million? All of us? The food stamp program is the modern equivalent of the old bread lines. More than 1 out of every 7 Americans now depend on the federal government for food. Oh, but haven't you heard? The economy is showing dramatic improvement. Corporate profits are up. The stock market is soaring. Happy days are here again. It just seems inconceivable that anyone can claim that the economy is improving when the number of Americans on food stamps continues to set a brand new record every single month. But the food stamp program is not the only indicator that the economy is still having massive problems. The following are 10 more reasons why the U.S. economy is simply not getting any better. Number 1. Some recent statistics actually indicate that the number of unemployed Americans is still going up. According to Gallup, unemployment in the United States rose 10.3% at the end of February. That is the highest number Gallup has reported since early last year. Now that's an important number right there, and I'll explain this in a nutshell. 10.3%. That is the official government statistical value of the unemployment rate here in the U.S. Now this is how they base their statistical value. They look at how many people are on unemployment and are receiving unemployment benefits. Now, when these unemployment benefits of these individuals run out, obviously people are still not able to find work. So, in all reality, the 10.3% probably is doubled. It's probably more like 20, 25, 27%. Because what the government does is they don't take into account that when your unemployment benefits run out, they take it into effect that you are back to work. That's in a nutshell. So keep that in mind also. Number 2, the housing industry is still a complete and total disaster. In fact, new home sales in the U.S. in January were 11.2% lower than they were in December. Not only that, the number of new home sales in January was 18.6% lower than the number of new home sales in January 2010. That is not a sign of improvement. Number 3, there wouldn't even be much of a housing industry at all at this point if it was not for the U.S. government. Right now, the U.S. government is either writing or guaranteeing well over 90% of all mortgages in the United States. So what would the housing market look like in 2011 if the government was not in the picture? Number 4, in 2010, more than 1 million U.S. families lost their homes to foreclosure for the first time ever. And that number is expected to go even higher in 2011. Where's this economic recovery, guys? Like I said, this message is for the sleeping, basically. For the ones that don't take into effect of what's going on around them. Wake up! Number 5, due to rampant economic decay and record numbers of foreclosures, there are areas in most of our major cities that now look like war zones. For example, the Huffington Post is reporting that there are now approximately 15,000 vacant buildings in the city of Chicago, and there are approximately 60,000 vacant houses and apartments in the city of Las Vegas. Economic recovery, huh? According to the Oil Price Information Service, U.S. drivers spent an average of $347 on gasoline during the month of February, which was 30% more than a year earlier. This represented 8.5% of median monthly income. So what is going to happen when gas prices go even higher? Sadly, the average price of gasoline in the U.S. has risen another 4 cents since yesterday, and it is likely to go much higher from there. Number 7. The U.S. trade deficit continues to grow. The trade deficit was about 33% larger in 2010 than it was in 2009, and the 2011 trade deficit is expected to be even bigger. Number 8. The Credibility Consumer Distress Index, which measures the average financial condition of U.S. households, declined in every single quarter in 2010. The number of Americans that have become so discouraged or this is number 9. The number of Americans that have become so discouraged that they have given up searching for work completely now stands at an all-time high. That's a big one. That's a big one. The number of Americans that have become so discouraged that they have given up searching for work completely now stands at an all-time high. And these are the people that are depending on the government for the food stamps, for the welfare, because they've given up. They've given up. And to some of those, I'm going to say, I mean, there are some real lazy people in the United States, okay, that won't even that don't even try to look for work, that are using this as a tool to basically have them be supported by either another source, rather be parents or whatever. But I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the ones that just can't figure it out. They just cannot find work, and they've been trying and trying and trying. You know, and the thing is, even if someone is lucky enough to find work, a lot of times now you're lucky enough to find a job in McDonald's. The only way you could possibly find work now, in most cases, is basically if you know somebody who owns a business and they can get you a job. That's probably one of the main things that will provide you with work. And if you don't know anybody, you are SOL. SOL basically. I mean, it's getting worse every single day, and nobody realizes it. Number 10, the U.S. national debt is growing faster than ever. I wonder if anybody's waking up to that yet. Well, I know a lot of us are, but like I said, this message is for those that are like, you know, so. U.S. national debt is growing faster than ever. The Obama administration is projecting that the federal budget deficit for the fiscal year will be a new all-time record, $1.65 trillion. And it is hard to even imagine how much money that is. Yeah. If you went out today and started spending $1 every single second, it will take you over 31,000 years to spend $1 trillion. Long ago, the U.S. government should have been getting these deficits under control, obviously, but instead they are just getting even larger. Why? Because it's what they want. So in light of the statistics above, can anyone really claim that we are in the middle of an economic recovery? I would love to see the replies to this one. You know, how much more proof do you need? Especially with everyone that's been saying this for a year, 2 years, even 3 years longer. The truth is that there is no sign that any of the long-term trends that are destroying the U.S. economy are even slowing down. Millions of jobs continue to be shipped overseas. The U.S. dollar continues to be devalued. The federal government continues to go into more debt. State and local governments continue to go into more debt. Our trade deficit continues to grow. Our cities continue to be transformed into wastelands as they are being systematically deindustrialized. The number of Americans that are dependent on the government continues to soar. The U.S. middle class continues to shrink, and that is the goal right there. I know that this is like I said, this is from a blog, and I will post a link. I know that I harp on these themes over and over, but it is vitally important that everyone understands that the mainstream media is lying to us. The U.S. economy is dying a very painful death, and there is no hope on the horizon. Things are not going to get better or be getting better. Well, they may get a bit better for the boys down on Wall Street, but for the rest of us, our standards of living are going to continue to decline. The best days for the U.S. economy are already behind us. What lies ahead is a whole lot of pain. We are going to pay the price for decades of corruption and incompetence. An economic collapse is coming, and you had better get ready. That was from the blog post on economicscollapse.com. The link will be posted below. Take it easy, guys.